Hello, Renee Flamont here. The ever-loving question of why do I keep going back in is something that we all wrestle with at one point or another. I kept marveling that I would give it another chance or listen or speak to this human ever again. I marveled. I still do, right? So why do I keep going back in? Yeah, we all feel that. And my pronoun is him. Use your own pronouns, I say, but mine is him. And there, when you can't stop yourself from going back in, there are a couple of things going on that are keeping you from that. And when you can't help yourself from doing so, here's the thing. The feeling of having no control is because you are right in the middle of the forest and you can't see. We need to have you step out. We need to have something snap you out of it. Because once you do, it becomes very clear. Even if you can't leave, you'll start to see that you should. Try thinking about the treatment. Just pick a treatment. Let's just take the last bad thing that they did. Just the last one. Not even the first, that rug pulling moment. Hi, honey. Not the 15th, not the 100th. Just take the last bad thing that they did. Now concentrate on it. Pick it apart. Is this the type of person you see yourself with? This is what I did. Someone who would do this. The character of a person it takes to do this. And you know, your this and my this and someone else's this will differ. It doesn't matter the details, we always say, I always say, because all of our details are important and they're all horrific. So it doesn't matter, meaning they're all vital. Check. But the fact that they do this as a character, but pick a bad one. So just the last one. Is this what you'd like to see your best friends go through? Your daughter deal with? If you have a daughter who's of dating age? We all know these answers are no. Okay, so put yourself in with them. You're as worthy as of the same goodness that they are, as your best friends and family that are close to you, right? And again, my pronoun is him, so maybe in your case it's son, or, but I'm saying son, daughter, friend. You don't want to see anybody you love going through this. I mention this because therein lies much of the problem. Part of me stayed around because I thought that because of my insane reactions that he was what I deserved, kind of. He is accepting my behavior back at him. He's accepting my behavior back at him, and that's okay because it was warranted because of his behavior. But stop right there. Stop on his behavior. I kept going back to his behavior because that happened first. I stopped blocking myself with rational thoughts of how he was accepting my reactionary behavior as a way to keep control over me. I lost sight of everything that was happening, and I thought, wow, nobody else would ever put up with what I gave back to him. His behavior came first. I don't walk around behaving that way. I don't walk around behaving that way. So that method of thinking, I think, cushioned the time that I remained in it. Because he could elicit that reaction from me, and here's the control I was talking about, in a moment's notice. He knew exactly how to get me angry. Pick a fight. Triangulate me, gaslight me, go out, cause an infraction, come home, lie about it, let it unfold. I swear it was a pattern. And he knew how to play it. And I swear even that was more calculated than I thought. The outpouring of infraction after infraction. It was to gain control of my psyche and have me then react absurdly and then have me feel badly about how I reacted, because that was my pattern and he knew that. I would beat myself up when I got crazy. I felt terrible about it. It's right where he wanted me. That cycle fed right into his hand. Now I'm apologizing to him for reacting that way. I'm asking, will you forgive me? I'm holding him after what he did. You got to watch it. You got to watch that. You got to watch when you go back in over and over again. What are you doing? What are you thinking about? Why are you going back in? What do you expect different this time? Do you expect something different this time? Are you just doing it because we used the expression before, the devil you know, or you don't want to be alone? I'm telling you what, though, when you think about why you keep going back in, is that, and I'll just ask it again, I think I've asked you before, is that what you want for yourself? And you know, I had you only think of the last bad thing. And my question to you of, would you want that for your friends? Would you want that for a family member? My assumption is that your answer was no. A resounding no, right? Of course it is. You don't want that treatment for your people. So I had you pick it apart, think about it, and I just did the last infraction, and your answer was a resounding no. I just had you do the last infraction, and your answer was a resounding no. Now go ahead and add in the other bad times. Go ahead. Your answer was already a resounding no, and you just took your last bad time. Now I'm telling you, go in and add the first one, the 15th one, the 100th one. How many are you going to give them? Ask yourself, how many? 101? Will that do it? Are you trying to reach a certain number? Will it be a certain number? Put math to it. My dad's an engineer, and he always tells me, Renee, everything comes down to math. And he's, through the years, taught me that a lot of things do. Well, let it come down to the math. How many times are you going to allow? I didn't count my times. But I wish I did. I could. I have them all written down. You know I do. How many times? I mean, will that do it? 101? We have to remember, nothing will ever change or get better. I know that's the other part of the reason that you go back in. I said at the beginning of this video, there's a couple of things at work here. And I got off on a tangent with the feeling bad about yourself, that you belong there and that that's what you deserve. But the other part is, you're sitting there hoping that there's change. We already know nothing will ever change or get better. And I know it's part of the other reason that you go back in, because I did it. That was definitely part of it. They convince you. My hands are cold. Can you see I'm rubbing them? Not just the part about, deep down inside what we deserve or don't deserve. Our hope for change is at work here in a big way. But remember, they cannot. They will not. They don't want to. Regardless of what they tell you. Tell me, tell us. Regardless of what they say. Some of them are very good with words. Oh, but you don't understand. I do understand. I do understand. The longer we hang on to the hope that they will change, the more chances they will have to inflict harm. The longer we take to accept that our behavior, insane or not, gets a pass because of the state we were put in by them, the more chances they'll have to inflict harm. Notice the sentence will never ever end with the more chances they have to prove their love, prove they're worthy of you, show you they mean it, display they're sorry. No. The sentence will always be chances to inflict harm. Because every time you open yourself up to being in their company, that is an opportunity for them to inflict harm upon you. And with each time, with every time you go back in, you're giving them that opportunity on a platter to crush you yet again. So, step out of the forest, the prickers that are them, and see your horizon. It doesn't look bleak unless you stay in that brush, that thicket with them. I think those are the words, right? For a city girl, that's not bad. Brush and thicket. That's forest, right? Without looking it up. It's very Tom Sawyer, isn't it? You can step out, is my point. You can. And see clearly by one choice. You just have to take the steps to do it. Yourself. No one can do that but you. They will always be in the thick of all of that mess and muck and swamp and prickers. That's their life. You can step out of it. They will remain that. They'll just have somebody else come into their muck with them. I'm not in that anymore. But he's still in a forestry of trouble. I can tell you that much. Oh, I can tell you that much. I don't need to be there to know that. I definitely don't. And when I think I stopped going back in once I left that muck, it was the best and easiest decision for me to make once I saw how clearly I needed to get out of that. And there are other victims now in the muck with him. It breaks my heart. It does. Unsuspecting people. Probably good girls, hardworking girls, who knows? You know what I mean? Productive members of society. I'm not going right to they're probably horrible. No, they're probably nice girls. I am. I felt for him. I mean, who's to say they're not nice girls, right? Working hard in the world, just trying to make their way, looking for love. And they are the ones right now that keep going back in. So why do you keep going back in? Because you keep hoping. And part of you might think that that's all you deserve. Please start to look at both of those differently. And know that you are worthy. And you wouldn't behave the way that you behave if you weren't with them. I don't walk around behaving like a lunatic. Being with the narcissist brought out things in me that, yes, I have a temper. I've said that before. Maybe that'll be a Friday video topic one day. And I'm not laughing at it, because I do have one. But no, that's not what we're talking about here. I do have control of my reactions, and I've said I could have just walked away. I was primed for a fight because it was my whole history, and okay, fine. The point is to keep going back in and trying to fight for it. It was wrapped up in both. That I wanted him to change. I was going to show him the light. He keeps telling me he's going to change. And he's telling me that this is the way he's been. But for me, he'll change. They try to get you to make you think that you're special and different than everyone before you. And now they're going to change. That's a tactic mine used. He admitted to being this way, but he'd say, but for you, I'm going to change. You know, you have to look at it too is what are you expecting every time you do go back in? And I would like for you to give that some thought. I don't think that you're expecting something different every time you go back in. I don't think so. I want you to look at what you're thinking you deserve, and I want you to look at if you're hoping that they change. They will come up with some grand things to tell you that will make you think that they will change. And that they want to. But I think we know by now with all the back and forth that it's just not something that ever comes to be. I just wanted to mention this.